seemingly never-ending uphill battle that is Mayor Bill de Blasio's plan to turn the tide on homelessness. The latest community opposition to a newly proposed shelter surfaced on Staten Island Tuesday evening, on the same stretch of sidewalk where almost 5 years ago, Eric Garner lost his life.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
If you watch Pix 11 News, you've seen this before. Residents upset over the de Blasio administration's decision to open up a new homeless shelter in their neighborhood, this time on the site of a massive empty lot at 44 Victory Boulevard.
The issue is the size, the scale, and the lack of community input into placing this site right here in the middle of our community center of St. George.
Residents here say this is not an issue of NIMBY, not in my backyard, but simply one of consideration, as in they weren't given any. And what they claim is the city's choice of a bad location for a reported 200-bed family shelter. The mayor's office did not respond to our request for comment in time for this report, but their position in previous shelter community battles is straightforward. The city has a legal obligation to house the homeless, and every borough and neighborhood must help shoulder this responsibility.
We really need for the city to get off its fixation with building more shelters, and please to focus more on the housing.
Priscilla Marco, president of the Van Duzer Street Area Civic Association, showed us an email from the mayor's office apologizing for not being able to make it to their monthly meeting. Marco says she intends to keep fighting, even in the face of the city's near-perfect track record of opening shelters in the face of staunch, passionate community opposition.
It's the impact, the total impact on this neighborhood and what you want this neighborhood to be. And it's knowing about Tompkinsville Park directly across the street and what that history has been. And it's not going to improve. In fact, it's going to send it further back along the lines of drug selling that people have spoken about before.
So while we were getting ready to go on the air for this report, we did receive an amended statement from the city, which basically says that the city has put out notices to all of the neighborhoods across the city, letting them know that communities can have some input on where shelters will go. City officials say that they did not receive any kind of input from Staten Island officials regarding this shelter, this proposed shelter here. This shelter is going to be run by WERen, which is led by former City Council Speaker Christine Quinn. We did receive a statement from her. Ms. Quinn tells Pix 11, quote, "This shelter will allow hundreds of vulnerable Staten Island moms and kids to return to or stay in their home community, and we are confident it will be a boon for revitalizing neighborhoods. We at WERen stand by this proposed shelter and are at ready for a thoughtful, open discussion with the community, but let's never lose sight of the fact that this is about Staten Island women and children." That's from Christine Quinn, president and CEO of WERen, the nonprofit that will be operating this planned shelter here on Staten Island.